So oftentimes people talk about how in the backswing it's important to keep the club on the plane, but what doesn't get talked about often enough is what happens on the way through, and I think it's one of the reasons why we see so many players flipping the club. So we've got a couple of little things here for you to think about and maybe work on in your own game to help create the right exit of the club on the way through and start hitting some better shots as a result. So the most common fault obviously when the player starts to, let's say, flip the club, as you can see that the head of the club goes past my hands and now suddenly the end of the grip starts pointing way behind me and the shaft end's pointing left of the camera. So what we want to try and do, as we're coming through, imagine we've got a light shining out of the end of the club shaft this way, and you can see as I'm coming through correctly, I'm keeping that light pointing at the target line. Okay, remember the flipper was sort of pointing the light way over to the left hand side. So a great visual to help players is to concentrate on keeping that light pointing down towards that target line, and then we keep going to where the shaft would be, if you like, level with the ground, and now the shaft is essentially parallel to that target line. So a great way to practice this is what we've done here. I've just set up an aim stick with a noodle just slightly to my left hand side, and again just to hit some little half shots and just hitting shots and just tapping it lightly with the club head. Okay, and I can see there how my club shaft still stays pointing at that target line. Now if I'm flipping, first of all I'm going to wallop it and send this thing flying because we're just over accelerating the golf club. And this is a lovely way to hit a few little short ones and just really helping me sense that good looking impact location and also what's happening there going in towards the follow through. You can also practice it with an aim stick. So you take a stick, kind of extend it sort of down the shaft of the club. You can just sort of see how we keep that idea of it pointing down towards the target line, much like we would if we were swinging back. If there were a torchlight or a laser pointing out of the club shaft, you'd see how that would remain pointing at the target line, staying pointing at the target line, still pointing, and then to when the shaft is then level with the ground, it's also parallel to that target line. Or another good way, very simply, is just stick the golf club sort of in your belly button, start moving it back, stays together, cocking the wrists up, we come back down into good impact. Now keep it in place as we're coming through. So again, you'll see from this side, club stays together, just work the club up, we come back down, impact, a little bit of forward lean. Now that club shaft's going to stay in place as I'm coming through, and I can still see the shaft is pointing down there towards that target line. So if you get a chance, hit a few. Imagine you've got a laser pointing out of the end of that club shaft, and just concentrate even after impact, keeping this club shaft on play. That way we're keeping the club face a little more stable. We're going to hit some longer, straighter shots.